Once we have confirmation that we're live here, we will jump ahead. Great. Well, thank you, everybody. We are live now, and we will go ahead and get started. And should we have anyone else join us, we'll be sure to invite them in. I'm going to go ahead and start today with sharing our presentation. And what we'll have up on the screen here is our opening slide. Just a couple of remarks as we get started, and that is, as we're going through this, we have 8 voting members on our Tax Incentive Review Council for 2019. And among those is 1 voting member of each school district involved. We have Worcester City School District for the majority of our cases, and then one of our agreements involves Triway Local Schools. And so we're making a slight adjustment in the agenda to allow them to go first, since they have just that one there, but they're certainly welcome to join along and comment on any of the other projects here as we go forward. So hopefully you can see my screen here, and we do have a quorum. I'll just note that we're joined today by Mayor Bob Brenneman, Mr. Mike Weitendijk, who's our council president, and Ms. Jara Underwood, Wayne County Auditor, Mr. Andre Dordia, our City of Worcester Finance Director, and Mr. William Gantz, designee of the Worcester City School District, and also Mr. Adam Briggs, who is a City of Worcester resident, along with Ms. Alicia Holford, who is also a City of Worcester resident. And on this call also, we have representatives of Worcester City Council here. This meeting is being held for the benefit of Worcester City Council as we review each agreement, and ultimately Worcester City Council will evaluate the recommendations and evaluate the path forward on each agreement, as each agreements are reviewed annually. So just a brief introduction, as we did before. The purpose of the Tax Incentive Review Council is to meet annually to evaluate the performance of each real estate tax abatement agreement that is in effect, to make a recommendation to Worcester City Council that any particular agreement be continued or to be modified, or in cases of non-compliance, and sometimes we get requests to terminate an agreement. As we've done before, we've categorized these based on their status. And that status is, in the case of fully compliant, we give them a green light. This means that all the terms of the agreement are met. Missed target means that our job and payroll commitments are not where they're supposed to be, but they are within 25% of the goal. And they've not been less than 75% over a 3-year period. Which most of our agreements require action if that were to happen. So yellow means that action's not required beyond continuance, but it's up to the board, the TIRC, and Worcester City Council to make that determination. And then status non-compliant, these are things where usually the agreement terms are not met, and there's a need for some kind of modification in order to be compliant with the agreement. And then status being post-abatement, which is the agreement's ended, no action required. And again, this is fully at your discretion as members of the Tax Incentive Review Council for recommendation, and then going on to Worcester City Council to make the ultimate decision. And then also in a couple of these to the Wayne County Commissioners, as we are also evaluating a couple programs that are in the Wayne County's Rural Enterprise Zone program. So that being said, I'll open it up here for our previous meeting minutes. If anyone's had a chance to review that and would like to make a motion, please.
Move to adopt.
Thank you, Mayor Brenneman. May I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. And discussion. And I'll just note that we'll continue to try to do as much of this as possible through voice vote. When we have a contested result, we'll ask for a roll call at that point. But otherwise, we'll proceed with voice count if that's all right with everybody. And of course, please be sure to note if you're abstaining or anything of that nature. Well, so with no further discussion, can we please have a motion in favor of approving the previous meeting minutes?
It's already.
A vote. You want a vote.
Want to vote, right?
Right.
Yes.
We've had a motion and a second there, Mr. Millay.
Yes, so we have a first by Mayor Brenneman and a second by Ms. Underwood.
So you want a vote,
Yes, please.
not a motion.
I apologize. Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's hard to keep you straight, you know, with being the father of 2 young children. You're probably exhausted.
I've only had 1 cup of coffee today. That was my mistake.
It shows.
I'll have to up it up.
How about all in favor, Jonathan?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. So for the benefit of our partners here at Triway Local School District, we're going to jump into their community reinvestment area agreement. Is Mr. Ryan Gilbert able to join us?
No, this is Sue, and
Okay.
I've been hereby anointed the task of designee.
Okay, great. Well, this is an agreement that we evaluated. We find that it's compliant. As of right now, it is not receiving any abatement because the work conducted did not result in an increase in valuation. So there are no impacts, but the agreement is still in effect. If those improvements would ever have value brought to them in the remaining years of abatement here, they could be, that could result in a savings here. So I'd like to ask Sue in particular, do you have any comments on this before we seek a motion?
No, but we appreciate the fact that you visited our school and during our board meeting and brought us up to date. So this is a very, important venture. So we're anxious to take part with it and get things moving. So
You're very welcome, and we appreciate all your partnership and time.
Could I ask who Sue is? All I see is Sue dash Triway. So
Sue Dexter, I'm Sue Cruz, Kruse, and I'm with I'm in the Board of Education office. I'm the treasurer.
okay, great. Thanks so much.
And my apologies there for the lack of an introduction there. That being said, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second it.
I second.
All right, we heard Dr. Crane first. Any discussion? All in favor? Please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. All right, Sue, you're welcome to join us on the rest of these. You are not required to vote as these are in Worcester City School District, but again, you're welcome to comment and follow through here.
Thank you very much.
So we won't be offended if you do need to log off, but we again appreciate your time. So
Okay, thank you.
we'll move forward here to enterprise zone agreements. We're going to do something just a little bit different this year in the fact that we're going to go through really quickly our post-abatement agreements. These are still under contract with the city of Worcester for maintaining substantial economic benefit for a period of 10 years, typically after the abatement periods there. All agreements we have right now, we do find compliant. You see, and we'll ask, since these are post-abatement, we don't report these to the state. If it's okay with the council here today, we'd ask that we can put these together as a consent agenda for approval. We have Eldorado Stone, Chesterland Estates, Westerman Incorporated, along with Compaq, Bosch Rexroth, and Technographics. Technographics is technically in its abatement period, but it's at a 0%. The one outlier here is, of course, Worthington Industries acquired Westerman. I'll just jump back here. They have, unfortunately, needed to relocate. So that facility is not providing the job creation that was originally intended. However, it is up for sale in a market that's pretty strong for industrial. We're hoping for the best there. As a result of that, the taxes that had been saved were 100% repaid. So there is no tax savings that Worthington Industries, or Westerman Incorporated, I should say, has incurred. So all foregone tax revenues were repaid back to the individual taxing entities earlier this year at the time of that closure. So that is why they're shown here as green, because there is no tax savings that they've incurred. So that being said, those are our 5 post-abatement agreements, and I would like to seek a motion for approval, please.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gantz. Discussion, please.
I just would like to thank you, Jonathan, for all the work you did in getting the negotiations put together and everyone else associated, that this money was able to come back to the county.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's a team effort, and you know, we appreciate the company's partnership and understanding to follow through with the agreement, and that they were very much wanting to stay here. They said that unfortunately business conditions didn't allow them to do that, but they wanted to make good on their agreement, which is why that 100% was repaid. So we thank everybody for that team effort there. Anything further? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. There being none, motion passes. Then we'll go through our active agreements here. Luke USA LLC, this is their 2013 agreement, fully compliant. May I have a motion for approval, please?
Move to continue.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Dr. Crane. Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion passes. That takes us to Daisy Brand within Worcester City School District limits. This facility is actually abated through an EPA certificate. There is no tax savings here, but it is under agreement, so we are seeking a motion to continue.
Dordia.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Discussion. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. There being none, motion passes. We're going to jump to our, oops, apologize. This is certified Angus beef. And this specific, I'm missing one. I'm going to jump back here. I apologize. Oh, that's what happened. I skipped. This is the portion of the Daisy Brand facility that is in the county's Rural Enterprise Zone program. So this will go on to City Council and ultimately Wayne County Commissioners. Was that a motion?
So moved.
Second, Dordia.
Thank you. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed,
Aye.
same sign? All right, motion passes. All right, now certified Angus beef, also fully compliant. May I have a motion, please?
Move
So moved.
Second.
All right.
I second.
All right, thank you. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed,
Aye.
same sign? Motion passes. That takes us to Luke LLC, their 2015 agreement, fully compliant. May I have a motion, please?
Move to continue.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. And Mr.
Second.
Beitendijk, is that a second?
Second.
Great, thank you. All right. All in, any discussion, please? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed, same sign? There being none, motion passes. Thank you, and this takes us to Daisy Brand's 2017 agreement, also fully compliant. They're in their 3rd year of job creation. with just a few more hires to go, but already exceeding their payroll requirements as well. All in favor? I'm sorry. May I have a motion to?
Move to continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
So moved,
Crane.
Brenneman.
All right, thank you. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion passes. All right, now we're going to move into our missed targets. Again, these are areas where, and this occasionally happens when companies are between tenants or they're restructuring, but we may see just a little bit of a decline in either a payroll or job creation figure. This is for Siemens Corporation. There were 6 jobs under their commitment of 153 jobs. With a total of 147, so they're substantially compliant. Again, their payroll exceeds vastly their minimum requirements. So in any event, we do highlight the missed target there, but they are moving forward. So
I move to continue, Jonathan. Doria.
thank you, Mr. Doria. Is there a second?
Second, Brenneman.
Thank you, Mayor Brenneman. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Abstain, Gantz.
Thank you, Mr. Gantz. Mr. Gantz is abstained. All right, motion passes. Thank you. McConnell Worcester Properties, DBA Bauer Corporation. Here, a similar situation where just barely under the payroll goal and a little bit under the job commitment goal, missing the job commitment goal by 25%. It's not actionable, but it is something that the TIRC and council reserves discretion to review and take action on. Our understanding for this is that there is some restructuring that was taking place during this period. With trying to expand services. Also, some of the work is very seasonal in nature, so our counts for summer and spring are quite a bit higher than the December 31st that we typically take action on. So since they are working to restructure, we've recommended from a staff perspective to continue, since there is a plan to eventually get back to where they're supposed to be. But that's enough for me. A motion, please.
Motion to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Gantz. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms.
I
Underwood.
second.
Okay, and any discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion passes. This gets us to Worcester Growth Tech 4 USA. Again, we're looking here at a job reduction. This is a company that has cited that they have several open positions. They just have not been able to fill them. They had a total job commitment of 250. They have 200. However, their payroll is nearly $1 million over what they committed, even with that original. So similar situation here.
Continue, Doria.
Thank you, Mr. Doria. Is there a second?
Second. Kip.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Crane. Any discussion, please? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passes. Oh, I'm sorry. And any abstentions on that? Okay, just wanted to be clear. Oops, jumping too far ahead here. The last one here under the missed target section is Luke USA LLC. This is for their 16 agreement. They had a decline in years past, but we see them making that back up on an upward trajectory. Of course, with COVID-19 this year, which we're not reviewing, there was a bit of a hit, but that also is being replaced, and the company has plans to grow beyond the numbers even committed here. So. And again, payroll, similar situation, vastly outstripping what was committed. May I have a motion, please?
I also moved, but could you tell us what the job commitment target was?
Absolutely. So the total job commitment was 2,059 as opposed to 1,916 people. There were 1,859 people to be retained, which the company met as of 2019. There were 200 new jobs to be created. The company had hired 57. Again, citing some issues with being able to attain employment. Notably, the payroll was $109 million total commitment, approximately. In reality, they were roughly close to 18 to $20 million over that threshold. So that is performed very well. That means that there are fewer people than anticipated, but being paid much more than what was committed. So from a tax revenue standpoint, they're actually producing more tax revenue than was committed for this.
Okay,
Second
thank you very
motion to
much.
continue, Jonathan.
You're welcome. And did we have a second there?
Yeah, Doherty, a second.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Doherty. Any further discussion? There being none, may we have a motion to continue, please? Or, I'm sorry, all in favor of continuing, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Same sign. All right, motion passes. That brings us to Baker Properties Mount Vernon. This status is non-compliant, but I'll point out that the original job commitments were for 10 with a payroll of just under $300,000. The jobs at this facility have been doubled, which is fantastic. This project was able to secure a growing Worcester company in Worcester. However, we do need to modify the agreement to incorporate the new tenant who is the employer. So our agreement specifies that when you have a tenant situation that that must be cleared by the city first, because the state of Ohio has a requirement for that if the employer is being located from another Ohio location. And they have, the Ohio Development Services Agency has to produce a waiver. Otherwise, that creates some liability for the community that is receiving that employment. That fortunately here is a moot point because it's within the same jurisdiction, the same enterprise zone. However, absent of that, we do have our employers signed up to the agreement. That gives us the ability to make sure that the job numbers and payroll numbers are there. So you see the payroll number being at what was committed because we could verify that there was at least that much there, but we're not able to, since we don't have an agreement, we don't have the ability to get other data. So that's something that's in process. And so at this time it was appropriate, since we don't have that done yet, to suggest a modification.
You
And the
really think council is going to understand that?
Well, the modification would be just to allow the new employer to count toward the enterprise zone agreement.
I might lead off with that there, Mr. Millay.
Okay.
Are you looking for a motion then, Jonathan?
Yes, please.
I would so move.
All right, so that, and to clarify that, that's a motion to modify the agreement to include the active employer onto the agreement.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Second, Doherty.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. Any further discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. There being none, motion passes. And then this is a old item, but it's housekeeping as we're trying to get some paperwork together on this. We had said earlier that this facility is no longer receiving an abatement, which it has not since, actually it's never received an abatement because the work performed did not result in a savings. But it's been off of our reporting schedule since a few years ago. However, we're trying to finalize paperwork with the company. We've had some difficulty coordinating with them. So since that is still outstanding, We have here a mutual termination, which is what we have out for signature with them. So since that is actively out there at the moment to be signed and it's not completely resolved, we are requesting from the TIRC a modification to terminate.
I'll abstain on this.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs.
I'll make a motion to terminate Underwood.
I will second it. Biden.
Thank you, Mr. Dyke. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. And again, that's a mutual item that's out there. I just want to briefly update you on two new enterprise zone projects that are moving forward. These were approved by Worcester City Council earlier this year. A project that is within the Wayne County Commissioner's Enterprise Zone, which is the certified Angus beef property that you might notice is going up near the new Holiday Inn Express. And then also a 50,000 square foot facility being constructed near Old Airport Road off of Akron Road, which is also under construction. A third proposal has been approved for HIDAC. Unfortunately, we learned recently that they will be relocating to another facility just within the Worcester area, but outside of city limits. So unfortunately, that project will not be moving forward, and we were not able to file that with the state. But these two, we look forward to presenting to you next year. Just a really quick recap, trying to make sure we can get our timing here. We took a look at our real property commitments that are active to our total employment. This is a total through the years. And what we have on the actual are the active agreements, so we're not including the unabated agreements there as far as the property investment figures. But you do see, as far as the tax revenues for this program, looking not at the existing payroll, but for properties that have come off of the abatement, and also the 25% that most of these agreements are paying in taxes. We have about 5.1 million in revenues, with 4.4 million being forgone. So I'll move on to our community reinvestment area agreements. Just really quick, there's no action necessary here because these are actively out of abatement. There is no follow-up period like we had in our enterprise zone for these particular agreements. You see the Daily Record, Giannino's is, Liberty Market, Coyote Group, Just Basic Sports and Retail. So all 5 of those are projects that are being 100% taxed today that would not have occurred otherwise. And so you'll see a little bit later on how that boosts our figures a little bit. So our first active agreement, and again, we'll start with our compliant ones, is Hain Construction, which is the establishment here for just another fine brewery. May I have a motion, please?
Hello, Doria.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. We'll move on to our next one. This is Gold Star Holdings, LLC. Right now, 2020 being the last year for their abatement.
Doria.
Thank you, Mr. Doria. Is there a second?
Second. Biden.
Thank you, Mr. Dyke. Any discussion, please? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That takes us to 544 LLC, 2019. Thank you, Mr. Doria. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you,
I
Mr. Brett.
second. Holford.
All right, we'll give that one to Ms. Holford there.
Sounds good.
I abstain.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. All right, with no, with that, will you take that as approved? We move on to, also in its last year, CCCM Real Estate LLC. You can see the work that they did before and after. A motion, please.
Move to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia.
Second, Dyke.
Thank you, Mr. Reitendijk. Discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. Takes us to St. Paul Hotel Properties. This property was converted upstairs into a hotel.
Continue, Jonathan.
Thank
Doherty.
you, Mr. Cordia. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you,
Gantz.
Mr. Gantz. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. We'll move forward here to our Gold Star Holdings LLC. This is the City Square Steakhouse.
Move to approve.
Second, Doherty.
Brenneman.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have a second there. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. And motion carries. Takes us to Gentry Estates LLC.
Move to continue, Jonathan. Doherty.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. there a
Second,
second?
Dyke.
Thank you, Mr. Reitendijk. Is there discussion, please? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. And motion is approved. Takes us to St. Paul Hotel Properties, LLC, also fully compliant.
Move to continue, Doherty.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Is there a second, please?
Second, Halford.
Oh, I saw Mrs. Holford's hand up first, so we'll give that to her. Sorry. All right, discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. All right, this gets us to Merchants Block
Move to
LLC.
continue, Merchants Block LLC.
Thank you. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. That takes us to S&D Realty, also fully compliant.
Move to continue, Jonathan. Doherty.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Is there a second?
Second, Gantz.
Thank you, Mr. Gantz. Any discussion on this? Questions? Okay. There being none, we will ask for all those in favor to please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then this is Taj Investments, home of Spoon Market.
I'll move to continue, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Is there a second?
Second, Dyke.
Thank you, Mr. Reitendijk. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This is GMI Gomoplast Machinery.
I'll move to continue, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Is there a second?
Underwood, seconds.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. There being none, motion carries. Thank you very much. Palm House Apartments, LLC.
Move to continue, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia. Is there a second?
Second, Dyke.
Thank you. Give that one to Mayor Brenneman. I saw him first there. Discussion, please. There being none,
This is
all in
live
favor,
camera.
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. There, if there's no further discussion, may we have a motion to approve? I'm sorry, all in favor, please signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, everyone, for your patience today. We talked about this earlier with Sue Kraus, Tri-Way Local School District Treasurer, so we're good there. Thank you. And then we'll move on to Walnut North Investment Properties LLC. Council recently amended this earlier this year to allow a new owner to take charge of the facility.
Move to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. Is there a second?
Second, Brenneman.
Thank you, Mayor Brenneman. Discussion, please. Questions, comments? There being none. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. Thank you. That takes us to Echo Coal LLC. May I have a motion, please?
Continue the Echo Coal.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. Is there a second?
Beitendijk.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, and motion carries. And then similarly here, Liberty Street Partners Limited, seeking a motion for this.
Jonathan Doria.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. A second, please.
Second.
Second, Beitendijk.
Halford.
Give
We'll
it
give that one to Mayor
Halford.
Brenneman. It's on first here again. Might be just placement on my screen here. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Okay. There being none, motion passes. Minglewood Distillery, which is Morrison Enterprises LLC. We rank them.
To continue.
Thank you, Dr. Crane.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Discussion, please. There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. And any opposed, same sign. There being none, motion carries. The Member Homes Group LLC and Gilchrist Senior Wellness and Fitness Center
Move to continue,
Incorporated.
Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. A second, please.
Second, Brenneman.
Halford, second.
Thank you, Ms. Holford. Discussion, please. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Okay, and motion carries. That brings us to North Pole Holdings LLC.
Move to continue.
Move to continue. Beitendijk.
Thank you. All right, so firsted by Mr. Doria, Mr. Beitendijk, second. Discussion, please.
Abstain.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. There being no further discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. There being none, motion passes. That gets us to Brian Pullen and Tammy Pullen for
Move to
140.
continue, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Doria. May I have a second? Thank you, Mayor Brenneman. Discussion, please. There being none, please signify approval by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign, please. Okay, motion carries. Worcester Fit Holdings LLC.
Motion to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. Is there a second, please?
Second, Brenneman.
Thank you, Mayor. Discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify so by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. I'm going to try to have us out here by one. iAlexo
Move to
LLC.
continue, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Discussion, please. There being none, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Coyote Group LLC,
Move
may I have a motion?
Doria.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Beitendijk.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. Discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. These have, let's see.
Move to
This,
continue. What's your loss, Jonathan?
thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Brenneman.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor. Discussion? Any questions, comments? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. All right, I don't hear any opposition, so that passes. This is something brand new for 2020, has not been approved.
continue.
Oh, thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Beitendijk.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. That gets us to, we just have a couple more here. Brass Fund USA LLC, or Brass Fund USA Corp. This is a missed target. The employer reported one job for that facility for 2019. The state minimum requirement is 2. We do have some discretion here. This is the first year that they've been under the state's threshold. The minimum requirement was amended to 2 jobs. So this is listed as a missed target, looking for an opportunity for them to make a rebound coming up here. Any motion or discussion on this?
Could you fill us in, Jonathan, what the status is? Are they trying to grow back, or are they fighting this world epidemic stuff, or what's happened?
So the company really has transitioned into a design, build, management type firm compared to the active work that they used to do in the region. We don't have. We understand that the aspiration is to grow there. Originally, we've not seen a specific strategy to bring employment back, other than that the company is trying. We do have discretion to allow this to continue for a little bit, but we do have an issue when we fall under 2 jobs. The community is supposed to take action if this is going to continue into the foreseeable future. So at this stage, we don't have more information other than that the company wants to continue to grow. What we could do, if we'd like, we could reach back to them for more definitive information. We could request a separate meeting with them specifically if we would like. We could move forward with a modification based on a commitment for future years. But right now, unfortunately, we have very limited information.
And there's only 1 year left, right, Jonathan?
With this one, this actually runs through the end of 2023.
2 years, okay.
Yeah.
I'd say let's give them a chance. Things are pretty unusual, and this is a Brazilian company, I think, is where the equipment is coming from. So I'd say it's worth giving them a try for another year, and then we'll have conversations with them as the year goes on.
Okay.
So I would move continuing.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second?
Second, Reitendijk.
Thank you, Mr. Reitendijk. Any further discussion on this?
Just one question, and I just don't know how these work. When you say that the community is responsible to take action under the 2 jobs, do we at all put ourselves at risk of jeopardizing the whole program by not taking action?
I wouldn't say the whole program, but there is a concern when we allow a abatement to be given to a company that is not meeting the state minimums without a plan to rebuild, that we could become at risk for taking revenues away from our partner taxing jurisdictions. And so that's where there's some liability that comes into play. We routinely we'll have a couple more of these. It's very common in our downtown that we'll get periods where there are 0 jobs reported, but that's due to a tenant transitioning. So in that case, when it's a 1-year item, we generally grant the discretion because there is a viable path forward. That space will be released and there will be someone new there and that job is created. Plus the intent of that abatement typically is the rehabilitation of a building. This particular abatement was designed for the purpose of primary job creation. And so that's that's where there's some issues. So they are meeting the minimum 2 jobs that is authorized to them under their amended agreement. But that minimum is a very hard number. So if we don't see this rebounding in 2020, unless there's some very strong indicators that they are moving forward, we'll probably be in a position where there'll have to be some action taken, because the community would not be permitted under state law to continue providing that abatement.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye to recommend continuation with the caveat this is for 1 year.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Okay, motion carries, and we'll continue to work with the company on that. This is another one, missed targets. They are reporting 0 jobs here. However, there were jobs here for most of the year. The tenant had left in October of that year. So that space was being repurposed. It had been a insurance company. So they are working to get a new tenant in there, and we'll be evaluating this again for 2020.
I'll move to continue, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Dordia.
Second, Gantz.
Thank you, Mr. Gantz. Any discussion? And just some differences between this and the other. This was always intended as a facility that would be rented out. And the purpose of the abatement was to aid in rehabilitation. And the amount of tax savings is about $2,000 compared with earlier, we were looking at a $12,000 a year abatement. So it's the finances are significantly different here. Any further discussion or comments, questions? There being none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion carries. This is one that it is still in process here. We had previously discussed having this modified to 0%. That has not taken place yet, and so as such, it's appropriate for us to still have that here. We would intend to take that to council here shortly to modify that abatement to 0%. That is a paperwork item. The facility is not receiving any abatement. It has not since it transferred out of ownership at the end of 2018. So there have been no further tax savings. However, we have yet to make it official. So that's
So do you motion to reduce the abatement level to 0%? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, Mr. Dordia.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second, Beindike.
Thank you, Mr. Beindike. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And motion carries. And that gets us to our last one here. This is the Family Dollar in downtown Worcester. They received an abatement where they're saving $1,800 a year, but they made some significant changes in how they develop these particular stores to fit in with our downtown streetscape. They are non-compliant here because when we had the original agreement, there was a commitment of 10 jobs. We were able to work with the company. We secured some new data, and we found that long-term, there have really just been 5 full-time equivalent positions at this place, and that will be the plan going forward. It is the payroll is also in the 140s as opposed to the 210. However, it is a facility that is contributing to downtown. It's a 50% abatement. And with their type of operation, they don't have the capacity to increase employment to those original commitments. So that's a situation that we're in, where we're at a point where our agreement requires that we modify this to either amend the job terms, the job and payroll requirements down to where they actually have been historically, or the modification could also look at reducing the incentive. Again, that savings per year right now, though, is already down to $1,845. but it's really a point where we do have to make a change to the agreement to reflect the fact that we have 5 jobs, full-time equivalent, with $140,000 payroll.
Is that number going to be the number going forward? They have what, 4 years left, I think?
Yes.
So do you need a motion to change the agreement?
So we would need a motion to modify the agreement.
All right.
Staff suggestion.
I'll make that.
And the motion specifically, and it's up to the TIRC's discretion. We had recommended here that maybe we just amend the job and payroll commitments, but it's the TIRC's discretion to recommend a change in any aspect of it, including the percentage of abatement.
Well, I'll just move to change the job and payroll commitments.
Right. Reaffirm my second of that.
Okay. Thank you. Any further? So we have a motion from Mr. Mike Beitendijk and then Mr. Andre Dordia seconding. Any discussion further?
Okay, so are we going to 5 full-time employees with 1845 as far as the taxes foregone?
Yeah, that's just a percentage. I think it's 50% on the taxes.
Yeah. Okay. So it'll be 5 employees with $140,000 payroll minimum commitment for them going forward.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Thank you.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. With just a couple minutes to spare here, just want to share these numbers with you. We have our commitments versus actual for 2019. The difference in real property commitment is actually projects that are underway, which go back to the Ray and Associates project in particular, being a big one. If we take a look at the total employees under active agreements, and we've taken out our post-abated agreements, but we have 207 jobs committed. We have 285 actual. We had 6.8 million in payroll committed. We had 11.3 actually occur. And again, that's without some of our other companies yet reporting payroll as their buildings are under construction. So this has been really fantastic. And then the last item I'd like to point down to, if we look at the bottom line here, we have incentive impacts year by year. 2019 pay 2020 is the first time our CRA program has resulted in more taxes being paid than being forgone. So this is a trend you can see through the years that we anticipate will be continuing. You see some reduction in the foregone taxes because we've had companies roll off, and we'll have a few more in 2019 and 2020. But overall, these are really great trends just for the fiscal health of the community. That's all revenue that we would not be looking at coming into our community otherwise, and would have to be borne by other taxpayers. So this has been a really good savings through these programs. So that being said, just again, we want to note that we do have several council members here in attendance as well. So I'd like to open this up to them too. If anybody has any questions or comments in our concluding remarks, I'll just leave this with, we will, of course, summarize all of our discussion here today in detailed minutes. We'll be sharing that for council's first meeting coming up here in December. But I would like to, yep, Mr. Dordia.
For the record, are there any questions that came through on the YouTube channel, just for the body?
Thank you for that.
Have there been any?
I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
We have 3 people watching online, and thank you for watching out there. I think I might be one of them.
You are.
You are.
I just have a quick comment, Jonathan. People say that tax incentives are not good for the community. I think you've proven here with your facts and figures that they truly are, because this has been a true win for our community in our downtown area. I looked at that Merchants Block CRA that went through, and without that forming, I don't think we would have the downtown we had today. So that was an anchor that started the ball rolling forward for saving the downtown. And then I saw the Luke agreements out there, and they're our largest employer. Without the help that we were able to give them with tax abatements, chances are they would have moved that operation or any growth to another community. They are beneficial.
Thank you. Any other remarks?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Weindijk. Second.
Second.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. And all in favor?
Aye.
All right. We are adjourned,
Aye.
and we'll look forward to catching up here sometime next year. Thank you so much, everybody, for your help and time and volunteering. We couldn't have these programs without you, and we really mean that. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.